Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we're doing another tier list, and this time it's for a director that I really like called Taylor Hackford. So this guy isn't a director that gets a lot of attention, especially nowadays, but he was fairly popular through the 80s and 90s, and then he made a couple films from the 2000s and 2010s, but nothing too big really after Ray, which is probably his last big film. But yeah, I really enjoyed pretty much most of what he did throughout the 90s and early 2000s. He had some big hits in the 80s, but I wasn't really a huge fan of much of what he did in the 80s or much of what he's done since Ray. But I definitely think he's a director worth talking about. I've seen all of these films in this list. I think there's only one film that he made in the 80s that I haven't seen, called Everybody's All American. But yeah, I just didn't really have any interest in watching that one. But as far as all his other directed feature films go, they're all here. So, and in no particular order either. They're just kind of all spread out. So starting off with Love Ranch. This is one of his worst films. It's a more recent one he did in 2010. It stars Helen Mirren, who's his wife actually in real life, and they've been married for a long time. Tells the true story of a brothel and all the goings on there, but it wasn't really a good film. I didn't really like it much. It was entertaining enough while I watched it, but it's probably a D tier film, to be honest. It was just okay. One-time watch type of movie. As far as how good of a director he is, he kind of had really great direction behind the camera throughout the 90s, and then just kind of lost it after Ray. And this film just feels like, one of his kind of later films where they feel like they could have been made by anyone, really. So that's Love Ranch. Next up, we have one of my top two favorites of his films, and that's Dolores Claiborne. This is easily an S tier film. I really love this movie. It's based on a Stephen King book. It came out in the mid-90s and it stars Kathy Bates, who also was in Misery, which is another Stephen King classic from the 90s. This film was great. I remember watching it a few years ago thinking it was good, and then returning to it more recently and just really loving it. I have it on Blu-ray now. I think it's a really great mystery film. It's not scary so much as a lot of Stephen King films, over the top and scary and violent and that, but this film is just more about the mystery to it. And it's about this relationship that's broken between a mother and daughter. But great acting throughout the whole film, great music, great actors, a great screenplay. Everything about it is top-notch, and easily one of his best films. And it did come out in that 90s period where he was kind of just making really great films. An Officer and a Gentleman is a classic film from the 80s that he made. I was looking forward to seeing it because of how popular it was. I didn't like it as much as most people seem to. I did think it was good, though. I think it's a solid B tier film, but a lot of people would have it higher in S or A tier. But yeah, it was decent enough. I like the lead actor in the film. I can't remember his name right now. He's in a lot of stuff, though, but he was good. The movie overall was good, but I think I was just expecting more from it. It is a romantic drama film, and it's successful in that it tells a good story and the characters have good chemistry and things like that. But overall, I wasn't really a fan of everything he did in the 80s. Like, none of it really grabbed me beyond probably a B tier. But again, B tier is still decent. It's good. So next up we have Proof of Life. This is a movie I actually thought was pretty decent. I'm going to put this one in the B tier as well, but probably at the top. I actually liked this film quite a bit more than I thought I was going to. It came out in 2000. It stars Russell Crowe and Meg Ryan. I normally like Meg Ryan in romantic comedies and stuff, but here she just seems really miscast. She's probably the weakest part about the film for me. Everything else I enjoyed, though. Like, it was a well-acted film other than her. It looked good. It had a really intense rescue sequence towards the end of the film. And the movie overall was actually decent. I liked it quite a bit. I think that Meg Ryan's character is the only thing that held it back from possibly being an A-tier film even. But yeah, I did like that film quite a bit. I think it goes under the radar, especially when you're talking about like Russell Crowe films as well. No one really kind of brings it up, but I did think it was good. And it probably doesn't help that it came out the same year as he did Gladiator, which obviously was amazing and just overshadowed everything else. So next we have The Devil's Advocate, which is another S tier film for me. I watched it a few years ago and just really loved it. I thought it was a great kind of horror, thriller, mystery film as well. Stars Keanu Reeves, Charlize Theron, and of course Al Pacino as pretty much Satan himself, running this law firm. And I haven't watched it since, but I did buy the Blu-ray, and I always feel like watching it, so I do have to go back and watch it again. But I remember loving it, thinking it was a great film. Al Pacino's just having a lot of fun here, playing this role and really hamming it up to like 11. And Keanu Reeves is pretty good here. He had a lot of great films that he was in the 90s. However, he wasn't necessarily the best actor, but he is in a lot of great films of that era, like obviously this one and Point Break and Dracula. Not that he was a great actor in any of those movies, but they are just really good films overall. And yeah, The Devil's Advocate is definitely a great S tier film. Next we have Parker. This is just your typical kind of run-of-the-mill action thriller with Jason Statham, though it was entertaining. I'm going to put it in the B tier because I enjoyed watching it while I did, but it's a very forgettable throwaway kind of film at the same time. But it was fun for what it was. Again, being a later film from Taylor Hackford, it didn't really have his flair or style or anything like that, but it was entertaining enough for what it was. And The Comedian is his final film from 2016, the latest film that he's released. It's a drama comedy starring Robert De Niro about a stand-up comedian, and I'm going to put it in the C tier probably. It was okay. I watched it about a week ago, and yeah, I just thought it was okay. Nothing that special. I probably wouldn't watch it again. De Niro was okay in the role, but yeah, again, it was pretty disappointing and nothing too special about it, but I didn't hate it or anything. Like, it's definitely a little bit better than Love Ranch, but yeah, still kind of just pretty average. Next we have Ray. This is another really good film. This is probably the last really great film that Taylor Hackford made. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I don't think it's quite as good as these two S tier films, but it is very good. And I really like a good musical biographical drama film like this. I didn't know much about the character in real life to begin with, but after watching the movie, I looked him up a bit, and obviously seeing how well Jamie Foxx portrayed this character was really amazing, and he did a fantastic job. I think he won the Oscar that year, or was at least nominated for Best Actor, which is definitely deserving. Ray Charles, I think the name was, yeah. But he did a fantastic job in the role, an amazing performance. But the film overall was just very engaging and captivating, and we got flashbacks to his childhood when he was growing up very poor with his mother and his brother, and then throughout his career and stuff, which was really cool to see. But yeah, it was entertaining, it was well acted, it was well directed, and just a very solid film. And I have these top 3 films on Blu-ray as well. They're all really good. Next is Blood In, Blood Out. This is a 3-hour crime epic about some Mexican friends and relatives. It kind of feels a bit Grand Theft Auto-ish, especially in the first part of the film. I'm going to put this in the A tier as well. I really liked this film. So it follows these 3 friends who, yeah, are like Mexican, I think. And for the first 40 or 45 minutes, the film is like perfect. It's an S tier film. I love it when they're just kind of, it's showing how they're kind of coming into this world of crime and just these things that they're doing that are, yeah, over the top, and they're running from police and bashing people and getting into fights and things like that. And then the majority of the runtime after that is when they're in prison and how they're dealing with the effects of everything they did when they were younger as they're growing older. And that was really cool too, but I really liked the first act of this film the best, and I would have liked that to have been extended a bit more, and the prison stuff and stuff later on to maybe be a little bit shortened, because it is a 3-hour runtime, so I think they could have fit more of that first section of their life in to the film a bit more, maybe making it even the first half of the movie. But it was still a very good film, very enjoyable, well acted, well made, and a solid A tier movie. Next is The Idolmaker. This is his first film from the 80s, 1980 or 81, I think it came out. This film was okay. I liked it more when I watched it, and then the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I disliked it. I didn't like the main character at all. I think the film started strong and then just kind of got worse as it went on. To be honest, I'll probably put it at the top of the C tier. I think it was okay. It was well acted, had an interesting storyline. I didn't like the lead though, and a lot of the characters I actually didn't like in the film, but it was just kind of very average, and it's got good reviews, like people like this movie, but it didn't really do much for me personally. Next we have White Nights. This is another 80s one that he made. This one I actually enjoyed more than probably the rest of his 80s output, so I'm going to put it in the B tier above An Officer and a Gentleman. it was a good film. It had good characters. There was a lot of dance sequences and choreography. It was kind of a mess of a story though, because it's like it doesn't know what it wants to be, whether it's a dance movie or a spy film or a thriller or an espionage or whatever, or a romance even. But it kind of tries to blend all of that together. And I admire when films do that, because they're not trying to fit into one box. They're trying to kind of be successful at a lot of things. This film doesn't succeed at a lot of those, but it's still entertaining, and I did like it. Yeah, it was decent. So the last film I've seen on this list from Taylor Hackford is another 80s movie he did called Against All Odds, which is like a romantic thriller kind of film with Jeff Bridges, and James Woods is in the film as well. The movie was just okay. I'm going to pop this one probably in the C tier as well. I didn't think it was amazing. It was another one that was just okay. It didn't do a whole lot for me. But I do like Jeff Bridges. I like the visual style of the film. It was well acted. It had some cool locations and things like that that the characters were going to and from. But yeah, as I said, like a lot of his 80s output didn't do that much for me. Yeah, so I'll probably put it in the C tier there. So that's pretty much it, guys, for Taylor Hackford. As I said, he did make another film in the 80s that I haven't seen, but this is the bulk of his filmography, from The Idolmaker to his last film, The Comedian. He hasn't made a film in like 9 years, and I'm not sure if he's doing any more, but it would be cool to kind of see him make a comeback and do something new, something different. But yeah, if you haven't seen any of these top 4 films, they're all excellent. I'd highly recommend them. And I also enjoyed Proof of Life and White Nights a bit as well. So yeah, let me know down below, guys, what you thought of these films, or if you haven't seen them or want to see some of them. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.